Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Why Catholic Colleges presentation. We have a great group of panelists assembled for you tonight, and we're going to go ahead and introduce everyone so you can get oriented as to who we are and what our perspectives might be. I'll start. I'm Tracy Manier. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment Management at St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas. And I also serve as the current president of the National Catholic College Admission Association, and that's the organization that's sponsoring this college fair and presentation tonight.
And good evening. I am Dr. Mike Marshall, Vice President for Enrollment, Marketing, Communication at Bellarmine University in Louisville, Texas. And I currently serve as the at-large regional coordinator of the National Catholic College Association, Admission Association, excuse me. Molly?
Hi, I'm Molly. I'm a graduate student at Bellarmine University in our early entry Master's in Digital Media program.
And then Fatima?
Hi guys, my name is Fatima Vasquez Molina. I am a sophomore at the Catholic University of America undergraduate studies, and I am double majoring in theology and in Hispanic studies.
Well, thank you so much to our panelists tonight. We have just 30 minutes together, and during this time, we really want to give you some perspective on what makes a Catholic higher education in particular a really valuable experience, and why this is something you should really consider for your college search. I'm going to ask Dr. Marshall to share his screen so we can get a presentation up, and then I'm going to hand that over to him.
Again, thank you, Tracy, appreciate it. So what you should see on the screen now is why Catholic colleges, and there are a host of reasons for why Catholic college education is certainly valuable. And I just want to spend some time, I'll take the next 3 to 4 minutes to highlight some of the reasons here, but really just want to start with the fact that Catholic colleges in and of themselves are guided by their mission, so they're mission-driven and value-based institutions. And so what does that really mean? Well, with Catholic colleges, the focus is really on developing the whole student. You know, there are more than 225 Catholic colleges or so. And so with that, the focus is on how can we develop mind, body, and spirit. And so that does become one of the focuses for Catholic institutions. And in that, it's important to provide access to those institutions. And so trying to remove barriers for students to become part of that environment, to experience the holistic development, is certainly something that is valued in a Catholic education. Now, part of that is, again, the mind. So if you think about the mind, you will see that there is the Catholic intellectual tradition. And so developing the intellectual development is certainly something that's important. And so part of that, you'll see many of the technical skills, so it could be specific to your major, but then also there will be the soft skills, if you will, the non-cognitive skills and some of the cognitive skills. So critical thinking, for example, is something that you'll find within a Catholic college. And it's not telling students how to think or what to think, but rather helping them to understand how to think through different issues. And the fact of the matter is, living in today during this pandemic and many other issues that we're experiencing, you know, whether it's due to the social unrest, it's important for students to really think through how they navigate those situations. The other piece is that's tied to that, as I mentioned earlier, there is a social justice or social responsibility that you'll find with with Catholic colleges. That's something that's valued, and making sure that students understand the importance of engaging in those real social issues that we face today and those that we will face in the future. And so having that social change, social justice orientation is certainly something that is important for that you'll find at Catholic colleges. And oftentimes you may find it in other institutions, but Catholic colleges are intentional, and Catholic education is intentional. And so that certainly is something that's important. The body, so wellness, the mental health is certainly something that's important. And so making sure that students are staying active, making sure that students are investing in themselves. So there is a religious piece that I know Tracy will speak to here a little bit later, but that's certainly something that's valued as well, and making sure that you're taking care of yourself. And that self-care is something that's so important, especially in light of the current circumstances that we're facing. Now, in many cases, there is the individual development, but then there's also the interpersonal and the group piece that you'll find, which is part of building that community. And so that is something that you'll find with many of the colleges. Again, the Catholic colleges come in all shapes and sizes, and so that's something that's important. And then obviously the spirit. So there's a religious and spiritual development. So not just about growing in your faith, but also understanding purpose and meaning. So those are factors that are important. And then the last two pieces before I kick it back to you, Tracy, is outcomes and then the alumni engagement piece. And so for students, it's not just about getting access. It's not just about making education affordable, but what happens beyond. And you'll see that there's success for many of our students or our graduates when they finish at our institutions, whether it's their first job after college, but also thinking about, life beyond that. And so also you'll see, the graduation rates very successful in the context of higher education altogether. And then there's the connection that when you're an alum, that you're going to be a graduate and alum for the rest of your life, and staying connected to folks you graduated with, even those who graduated before you and after you, and making sure that you're continuing that lifelong learning and that you're pouring into yourself, into others, into your communities and the community at large. And so those are just a few reasons on why I would say the Catholic college there. So, Tracy?
Thank you, Mike. So just thinking a little bit about some of these values and how Mike has positioned them. I've worked in Catholic higher education for almost 25 years now, and I've been so grateful for that experience and grateful to be a part of something that really touches young people's lives and helps to shape their future. But since March and the start of the COVID pandemic, I've never been more grateful to work in this kind of community and to really be a part of the Catholic higher education experience and to watch the students really receive that support from their campuses. I could sense from the very beginning, as we were doing some planning on our own campuses, how to respond to the pandemic and how we were going to navigate all of the questions and challenges and logistics that we were facing as a college trying to serve our students. And I could tell from the very beginning of that, there was such a sense of the community really coming together. There were just a tremendous overarching system of care and support and nurturing of students, being really mindful of how students were feeling, how they were doing, how their families were feeling. We had so many students and parents who were writing into the university and saying, thank you for all of the support you're giving me. I've had, in the case of parents, they've had students attend other universities that are not Catholic institutions, and they had a very different experience in that process. And I think there are going to be times in all of our lives where we face significant challenge. This is certainly a significant challenge that we all are going through together as a country, as a world. And it's just really, there's a real sense of hopefulness when you're a part of a community of people who have shared values, who really care for one another, who are driven by, values that are really kind of larger than just themselves in this situation. And just from the list that you can see on the screen, these are all the things that really come together to provide students at such a really important, very impressionable age an experience that helps really shape their future and gives them the tools to deal through, to work through all the many challenges that we'll all face within in the future, in our future lives. So that's been a real gift for me as I've just sort of watched how Catholic education and a Catholic higher education community really plays out in real time, in a real crisis. And it's just proven for me all the things that we always say about why it's just a really, really valuable experience. And we know that those of you who are out in the audience and you're seniors in high school or juniors in high school, and you're really starting to get serious about your college search, you very likely will experience a lot of challenges that are lingering effects of the COVID pandemic. When you enroll next fall or even the fall after that, it's hard to know what the future will hold. And it will be, I think, a really great experience for you to be in a community that is driven by this overarching mission of caring for one another and of creating a sense of community and a real sense of spiritual development and holistic wellness for students. So I don't want to take up any more time because we have two experts on Catholic higher education, more so than Mike and I, because they are students at Catholic colleges right now in real time. And we're so happy to have you, Molly and Fatima. Thank you so much for joining us tonight to give everyone a glimpse into what it's been like for you at two different Catholic colleges. We'll get to really understand your perspective of how that has shaped your college experience, but also really shaped your future and the person that you've become through that process. So Mike and I are going to spend the rest of the time really asking you all some questions about how that has played out for you at a Catholic college. And we want you to to provide us with a real good insight into your experience. So I'll just begin. If each of you could just tell us a little bit about your college search process and how you landed on a Catholic college, and what were you only looking at Catholic colleges? Did you sort of, get to enroll in a Catholic college just by happenstance or by luck, or was it sort of something that you really designed for yourself?
I can go first. I'm not sure. Okay. I didn't say where I'm from, but I don't know who is watching specifically, but I am in Louisville, Kentucky, and I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. So I didn't go too far for my college searches, but I didn't just look at Catholic schools. I was looking at some public institutions too, but I also wasn't sure on what I wanted to major in. So I was pretty open-minded towards programs, but Bellarmine drew me in because of the close community. Like Tracy and Mike have already mentioned, everyone is so welcoming. They're very hospitable. Bellarmine specifically, our pineapple is a symbol that you'll see all over campus, and they're very hospitable and welcoming to your parents too, and helping you transition onto the campus. So that was my biggest draw. And then two, I wasn't 100% sure I was going to be a resident on campus, and Bellarmine made sure that there was plenty of activities for me to be involved in outside of just the classroom setting. So when I decided to be a commuter, that was very welcoming to me as an individual, so that I didn't have to be parking miles and miles away and just being disconnected. I wanted to be a part of my community across those 4 years. And lastly, I guess the other thing that I looked into was the city. And Catholic institutions are usually located in a great community for that campus engagement and also that community engagement. So a big part of the mission is to be involved and to love others and to volunteer. So that was really important for me too. So if that helps you.
So from my behalf, once again, my name is Fatima, guys. I think my side of the story is pretty opposite from Molly's. I actually was only looking at Catholic institutions because I am a theology major. So I did want to have that degree in theology. But the reason why, aside from the degree in theology, I was looking more for a close-knit community. I came from an all-girls Catholic institution here in Maryland, and I wanted that family, that sisterhood, that that sense of close-knit community in a four-year college. And as I was looking through many of my college choices, I was finding this common factor in many of them, not just Catholic University. It was this close-knit family. I felt welcome. I felt appreciated. But CUA won just because it was within the city. I love the city. I love the hustle and the bustle of DC. And as a theology student, I knew right away I was in the right place to become a theology student and to grow more into my faith, especially as a Catholic. So that's why I chose CUA, and I do not regret it by any chance. So yeah.
And thank you for that. Fatima, if we can follow up on that. You kind of alluded to it, both you and Molly alluded to this. What kind of opportunities or doors have been opened up by attending your Catholic institution?
It's amazing. I mean, I think Tracy or Mike already mentioned this, but once you're ingrained and invested in your college Catholic community, like they said, you're still connected with alumni, and that network it just goes for miles. So you're connecting with people all the time. You're networking through those 4 years, and those opportunities that appear are sometimes just with the people that you know. And I think it has a lot to say about that Catholic community, because people recognize you, like they invest in you, they see you, they want to know you more than just what your grade is in the class. They want to know what you were doing this past weekend. And so it's really, like we said, a close community, and those opportunities come with that. They're really unique.
Yeah, once again, going off of Molly, it's a very unique experience to be part of a Catholic institution. For me, it was I love DC just in general. I'm going to refer to DC as a theology student for the reason that I'm seriously just 2 seconds away from the Immaculate Conception, the Basilica, which is the biggest church I think in all of the United States. Right across the street from me is JP2 Shrine, the Ukrainian church. And then a few blocks away, I have the Franciscan Monastery and many, many other Catholic churches around and parishes around the DC area. So for me, it was just an amazing opportunity. But not only that, also networking was truly an amazing opportunity. I've been networking since day one. Seriously, since day one in Catholic, which is amazing. Very early on, I was given a volunteership at the USCCB, which is the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. It's literally right across the street from me as well. And then right now, I am a new intern at the Catholic Apostolic Center right now. So I'm working.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So right now I'm working with them with marketing, with that side of marketing. I've never done anything concerning to marketing or anything doing with social media. So it's really interesting how to see Catholicism through a marketing way, through a social and engaging and technology way. So that's really amazing. So yeah, once again, there's so many different opportunities.
I'm glad that you mentioned all of those things. Oh, go ahead, Molly.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't have to share this, but I'm going to. I'm not per se Catholic, I'm Christian. And so I just wanted to let you know that as a viewer, if you weren't exactly from that Catholic faith, you don't have to be Catholic to go to a Catholic institution. But it's awesome, and I very highly suggest and recommend that. That's just something that confused me when I was in high school, if that's a question for you all. I don't know.
I'm glad you brought that up, Molly, because I think most, Catholic colleges in the country would really claim a fair amount of religious diversity on their campuses. And a lot of the elements of a Catholic education that we talked about before are really kind of universal concepts, that really appeal to a wide variety of people who are coming from many different faith traditions. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. And Fatima, I'm glad you mentioned all the ways that you've taken advantage of internships and of the city, because so much of your college experience is really what you make of it. And some of that is the way your college really helps facilitate that for you and introduce you to people and provide the kind of environment and location that will allow you to access all kinds of great opportunities. But it's also how much you kind of put into it. And part of that is really how, well suited you are for your campus. If it's a place where you feel like you're kind of living your best life and you're being your best self, and it brings you a lot of confidence and a lot of joy, and you're finding that you're surrounded by people who really care and nurture and support you, it'll really give you all of the tools and all of the capacity to be able to kind of, reach out and create those experiences for yourself, and just to be in a situation where you're graduating from college and you've had all these amazing experiences that you can both put on a resume, but also has really kind of informed the person you are, and how you'll, take that with you to so many facets of your life afterwards. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Well, tell me just a little bit about, kind of going back to what I was sharing before about the pandemic and the experience, tell me just a little bit about what that's been like, just even interacting with your own campus. And if you've ever, during this time, like had these thoughts like, thank goodness I'm at a Catholic school, because I feel like people are really, really caring for me,
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I don't want to always go first, but I was going to go ahead and go. Bellarmine's wonderful. When we were transitioning out of the spring semester in Kentucky, we were suggested to leave and get out off of campus with everything not being known. So we left early around, I think, the end of April, maybe March, the middle of March. Anyways, we started to leave off campus, but then they always called us. Like, there was people that were calling my personal cell phone saying, "Hi, how are you doing? How's classes? Are you in touch with your professors?" I mean, that check-in isn't going to come with all of your universities, and so it really meant a lot that my Catholic institution did that, because that's just an extra step. And it was the same with transitioning back on in the fall. It was like, how are you doing? Is there anything that you think that we should look into more? And just the feel of knowing that I can wear a mask on campus and feel safe with my other colleagues and my professors. They just care a lot about our well-being, and I think that means a lot when you're on a campus for 4 years.
So my side of the story, I actually am not on campus right now. I'm taking classes virtually. I miss my campus very much. I miss especially this time of year. I actually left campus. My last day, I think, was March 14th. It was literally the day before spring break, and I never went back again. But I think during that time, I was bombarded with emails, but happy emails and hopeful emails. I was getting so many emails, even from the president, saying, if you need anything, contact this email, and we'll help you. I've gotten emails from our mental health services, from disability services, saying, if you need anything, contact us. We are so happy to help you. I'm actually part of a program. So I'm actually a first-generation student. So I'm part of a program called Take Flight. And that program has been with me every single step of the way, even through this pandemic. And it's been really kind of like an extra survival kit. So as a first generation student, you still have those doubts, like, can I make it? Can I make it? And then on top of that, you're hit with a pandemic, and it's like, well, how am I supposed to do this alone? And honestly, our mentor was truly amazing. How he was, do you need anything? Do you, we have like gift cards so that you can go to Giant, you can pick them up, or we'll send them to you. It was truly an amazing experience. And once again, you see that close-knit Catholic community once again in all of this. I honestly have never felt closer to a community, and even though we're spread around the whole entire country. So yeah, it really resonates a lot with the community we have there at CUA.
So, there's, I can certainly sense the energy and the enthusiasm, and then also the authenticity, and you just talking about your experiences. And one of the things that often happens for students who are looking at Catholic institutions or private institutions is costs. Mm-hmm. And so I was wondering if you could speak to those who may have a concern about their ability to afford their college education. And so many of these students, again, are college-bound students. And so speaking to that perception that they may have, but oftentimes what might not be the reality. So.
I can go first, sorry.
You can go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, cool. Once again, it was a very hard decision. My parents were telling me you should apply to other schools rather than just a private Catholic institution. And I did not want to do it. I was so stubborn to not do it because I did not want to give up this great education I was going to be given. And I did it. And thankfully, I had the blessing to actually, I applied to many scholarships and I received many of them, thankfully. But honestly, I think we've seen as a family that this Catholic education is worth every single penny. It's worth, when I tell you it's worth every single penny, it's worth every single penny, guys. I truly love it. And yeah, honestly, there's so many different scholarships and many other organizations out there that are just ready to help you. And honestly, I think my financial aid office already knows my phone number and my name at this point because of so much of how many emails and how many calls I've sent them over to ask them if there's any possibility of them helping me and things like that. Once again, it's this close-knit community within even the faculty, and I really appreciate that, especially as a first-generation student that didn't know what was she's getting into, honestly, with all of these paperworks, FAFSA, and things like that. So yeah.
I was gonna say exactly what she said, like that's amazing. That's exactly a great testimony and something that I would say very similar to. So A++. Also, the other thing I was gonna say was I was kind of the opposite. I really, really wanted to go to Bellarmine, and it was mostly because of the mail that I got. And my parents were kind of like, don't get your hopes up. Like, it's expensive. And I was like, I know, but can we please go? Like, I just want to visit. And they were like, oh. And then I got on campus, met the faculty that are all very close and welcoming, and then also the students. And I was just like, I have to go here. Like, I just have to go here. And then they help you. I mean, the big ticket number looks intimidating. Like, I don't blame you for thinking that, or your parents thinking that. It's intimidating, but most of the time, every single person is on a scholarship. I can't speak for all Catholic institutions, but for Bellarmine, we all are on a scholarship. And I mean, you really have to look into the programs that are offered. Studying abroad, the Career Development Center, they really do help you with the interviewing, mock interviews, career development as in how to dress, just so many different tools. But that ticket price is really intimidating. But like we were talking about, look into it. It is really worth every single penny. So I hope it works for you.
Those are some great answers, and it's actually a great place to end because we only have about a minute and a half left in this broadcast. And I wanted to make sure to mention that the National Catholic College Admission Association sponsors a scholarship for students every year who are going to enroll in a National CCAA member institution. And our organization has over 100 Catholic colleges as members, close to 125 Catholic colleges that are members of our organization. And every year we give 16 scholarships worth $1,000 each to students. And the great thing about this scholarship is it'll be the easiest scholarship you ever apply for. You really just have to literally put your name and contact information on a form. And everybody who applies for the scholarship has an equal chance of winning. Okay, it's almost just like picking a name out of a hat because we get so many applications for this scholarship. And we want to make sure to just spread it around to students who are going to Catholic colleges all across the nation. So make sure, usually in January or February, we'll post information about the scholarship, but you can find out more at catholiccollegesonline.org. There's a tab at the top of the website for parents and students, and in there is information about our scholarship and financial aid. So make sure to apply for that scholarship. And also, just know, as Fatima and Molly indicated, Catholic colleges have such generous financial aid and scholarship processes for their students, and make sure that you file a FAFSA and that you plug yourself into all of the opportunities for those scholarships and for financial aid. I want to thank all of our panelists. You guys have been terrific. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us a great opportunity to learn more about what it's like to be a student at 2 different Catholic colleges in the country. I wish you the best of luck this semester. Stay healthy and safe, everyone. And we hope to see all of you viewers on one of our Catholic college campuses next year or the year after as you pursue your college search. Good luck with that.
Yes, and thank you to our attendees as well. We appreciate your making time. I know there are a lot of great colleges and universities, Catholic colleges and universities out there that you're exploring. So wish you only the best throughout your process. And again, stay healthy and safe out there.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.